and say hi. It gets me happy. It makes me feel like I'm not just talking on this fucking screen, sitting here and, feeling awkward. So if you guys can just drop a hey and make me feel like I'm not just speaking to myself, I would be super fucking hyped. And that would be great. If you give us about 2 minutes, we'll be getting started on what we're going to talk about today, which is shame and acceptance. It's going to be fun and quite interesting. Yeah. So, once we get there, I'm going to give it about 5 more seconds. Oh, it says that actually 4 people are watching, so that's exciting. Alright, guys. So, hi, I'm Brii. I'm the owner of the Boudoir Studio, if you did not know. If you did know, there you go. There's some light on my face. I'm going to talk to you guys today about shame and acceptance and a little bit of actually a personal story including that. This is giving me like a big shadow on my eye and it looks like I got a black eye. Shit happens. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you guys about shame and acceptance today, and we're going to go deep into a talk about how to work on your body and all of that fun stuff. So, when you're here, give me a hi if you feel like you like me enough to do that. It'd be superb. If you don't feel like you like me enough to do that, then fuck you too. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. But yeah, I'm gonna try to pull over this screen over here so that I can also see your guys' comments. If I told you I was good at this, you probably wouldn't believe me, but give me 2 minutes. We're gonna let a few more people get on, and then I'm going to go hard, okay? So if you can drop a comment, say hi, say anything, I'd be super fucking happy. It'd make me feel not so crazy talking to myself here, okay? And actually answer the question of where you're located. If you're here in North Carolina, or if you're in a different state. If you're in North Carolina, are you the East Coast, you the West Coast, where you at? So drop in the comments where you're from. And all of that, your name, where you're from. I guess it'll tell us your name, all that shit, right? So drop in the comments where you're at, and let's get this going, okay? All right, I'm gonna try to pay attention to see if I get comments without turning my computer on to like, oh yay, somebody said hi to me. Yay. Okay, cool guys. Glad you're here. If you've ever experienced shame, especially surrounding your idea of your body and the way that you view yourself, put a yes in the comments for me. Tell me that you hear me and that's why you're fucking here. And yeah, so just so I don't feel alone in this. So if you don't know, as on top of being a body image expert, authenticity coach, and sexologist, I am also an erotica photographer and boudoir photographer, meaning I photograph bodies quite often, all day, every day, different sizes, different shapes, all of that. It also means that I myself get naked in front of the camera often and take photos of myself. I take quite a few selfies. And if you didn't know, I've been doing this since I was in my early 20s. So the time of taking portraits and self-portraits of myself has been grand. It's been a big, long journey, pretty much. The thing is, my body's changed over that time, and it's changed quite a lot. And so I was taking selfies the other day. So we're getting into the story. It's story time. Story time. All right. Story time, because this is important. I was taking selfies probably about 2 weeks ago, and I was having this moment, and I took them, and I felt great, and I was like, oh, this is great, and I was editing them, and they were fantastic, and I just felt so fucking good, right? And it was one of those moments, and then I got them to the computer, and I'm like culling, which means getting rid of the doubles, whatever, and I'm saving the good ones. And I saved one, and I'm like going through them again and about to edit them, and I stop and I look at myself and I see something I've never seen before. And honestly, it caught me by surprise. I called Joe in. I called my husband into the room and I said, what is this? Joe, when did this happen? When did I get this? Does it always look like that, right? And he was like, Brii, I don't know. And I was like, but like, does my arm always look like that, Joe? When did this happen? Is it because I'm getting old? And right, it was that moment that I don't typically experience of like, oh shit, like I kind of was struggling. Like I was judging myself. There was a whole bunch of shame happening inside me that I never experienced before. And it like built up on this idea of smooth skin and all of that. And I'm about to show you the picture because it's super important to show you guys kind of what I mean. And you'll know that this is normal, but also maybe you'll hear what I'm saying here. So I'm going to pull it up and show you guys. Oh, I have to find it first, which is fun. Give me 1 second. And like when I took it, I found it. Okay, so when I took this photo, I felt so powerful. I felt so incredible, so great. And then I get here and I'm editing it. And you guys probably right away won't even be able to tell. So, right, here's this picture. I'm like, wow, look at my butt. It looks great. My legs, wonderful. Woo, what is this? The framing, great. Arch, great. And then I said, Joe, what is this? Joe, when did I get this? When did I get loose skin on my arms, Joe? When did my arms start having wrinkles? When did this happen, right? And I had this huge moment of like, I need to change it. I need to be better. Like, why do I look like this? What's happening? And then, you know, after a few minutes of that, and the self-judgment and the self-hate and the protruding idea that I'm supposed to look a certain way, because my whole life I've been surrounded by women and people who just talk to themselves like this. And the problem with that is that then you also learn to talk to yourself like that, right? And I've done extensive work on not doing that. But in this moment, seeing myself in a way that I never saw myself and seeing these things in myself, which are completely normal, and I photographed a million times and seen a million times on everybody else, but never on myself, it was a huge moment. I absolutely like felt complete shame that I had, I don't know, lost weight and got loose skin, or stopped working out and lifting so my arms were smaller so I had loose skin. I don't know how it happened. Maybe it's just the angle, the pose, but I had super huge self-deprecating thoughts that weren't great, right? And I felt so much like my clients in that moment. And then I flipped it, because like the voice in my head was like, ooh, right? But then I was like, girl, your butt looks good. Like, you look good. Why does that change how powerful you are in this picture? Why does that change how powerful of a picture of a person you are? Why does that make or break this picture? And who else would call it out and see it if they were staring at this, right? Like, would that be their main focus? Would they be like, oh, what's wrong with her arm, right? No, the answer is it wouldn't be. It's just because of me and my own thought process that made that happen, that made me start tearing myself apart automatically after seeing something different. And, you know, as I've selfied throughout the years, I've seen my crow's feet and my smile lines and just things being looser, being whatever. And the thing is that it's not just about me, because the thing is, you guys have experienced it too. Unless you're super young, even then, you've experienced that moment of seeing yourself change in a photograph and seeing yourself change throughout the years. And maybe in the photograph of it literally being like, holy shit, I didn't realize I had wrinkles. Or holy shit, I didn't realize I was getting that mark near my eye or near my mouth or whatever. And I would say that I was at the pottery studio the other day, and everybody at the pottery studio is in their late 70s, and it's absolutely beautiful, right? And we were talking, and I was like, yeah, I actually got my smile lines in my 20s, and I think that most people like frown upon them, right? They're considered wrinkles and whatever, but they're one of my favorite things about myself. And this woman said to me, she said, I have to say I love that you say that, because I realized in like my late 40s, 50s that I had the frown line. Like, I was just angry. So I had this one. And she's like, so what I did was I made this dedication to myself that I was going to start working on it. So I had more smile line. My smile lines were bigger than my frown line, because that's how you knew you lived a happy life. And I was like, these people got wisdom. Like, you just have to sit down and talk to somebody who's older sometimes to make you feel like, damn, you right. But here's the lies, guys. Here's the thing. So, yes, we all want to feel like we're fucking made for Maybelline or whatever bullshit it is. But it's exactly that. It's bullshit. Because we're made to believe these lies that aren't actually real, and made to believe these things that aren't actually even possible, right? Unless we're going around having so much plastic surgery and Botox and chemicals put in our face and in our body, we're not supposed to look like this our whole lives. And that, guys, I know that you're going to hate to fucking hear this, is supposed to be the beauty of it. We're not supposed to be 40 looking 20. We are supposed to be 40 looking 40 and owning the fact that 40-year-old women are beautiful. 40-year-old women are powerful. We are 40. Like, we've experienced 40 years of life, and we are still here to tell the story, and here is exactly what happened and how I own myself now at 40 instead of how I was at 20 or how I was at 30 and how I was in these moments, right? We're supposed to own that. And the idea is that what society has done to us is what they've told us is that beauty equals skinny, thin, or they would say, right? It equals flawlessness. It equals smooth. And the problem is with that, number one, is it's not real. And there's beauty in everything, but that's besides the point. That takes it off. The reason that we're told that is what beauty is because that's how they make the money. Because naturally our bodies are not supposed to be smooth, they're not supposed to be flawless, and they are not supposed to be super thin all the time, right? Different bodies are. Some bodies are meant to be small and thin. Sometimes their bodies are supposed to be larger, right? And larger bodies. But the thing is that they've created this idea because that's how they make money. Because our bodies are not supposed to look like that generally. That's what they want to market to make us do and act and do things to our body, to pay all of this money to change the way that we look and give them more money. The makeup industry and all of these industries wouldn't exist if women didn't hate themselves, right? If we were not taught to hate ourselves into loving ourselves by changing things and adding all of these things onto our body and onto us to make us look a certain way, to make other people like us, the beauty industry would be fucked. Absolutely fucking fucked. They won't do that. They will never give us an ideology or vision that is natural and beautiful, right? They're going to keep making commercials that say like, age with beauty, get rid of those lines, get rid of those wrinkles. In 28 days, you'll see a wrinkle difference. And it's like, but I got that wrinkle during the year that, I don't know, something happened, right? My first grandson was born, or I got that wrinkle the first day my kid went to preschool, whatever, right? You have to find the good with what people consider bad, but really your body is this thing in which you're aging and living your life in. And every time it changes, there's a part of your life that you've lived in which it's changed for. And I kind of like ask this to people because I'm like, okay, so people will be like, I wish I was 20 pounds heavier. I wish I looked the way I did before my kid was born, or when I had more time to do this, and this. And I say, okay, how many years ago was that? And they'll be like, it was 5 years ago. And I'm like, okay, so would you go back 5 years ago? And typically the answer is, well, maybe. And I'm like, would you go back 5 years ago before your child? And the answer is always no. The answer is no, I would not give up the things that have happened or that I've gained in this last 5 years, that I've experienced in this last 5 years to look like I did 5 years ago. You're not supposed to look like you did 5 years ago because you've experienced a whole different life in 5 years. Your body is not meant to do that. Yeah. So the idea that wrinkles equals, I don't know, kind of grossness or something that's wrong, when we all look at our grandmother's hands with their wrinkles and their veins and their fragile, I don't know that word. Give me a sec. Fragility. Yep, not getting it today. It's fine. You could even write it out and I still wouldn't be able to say it right. So, and say that they're ugly. I don't think there's anything more beautiful than someone's hands who are older. The stories that hands tell and the stories that bodies tell, right? And the fact that we somehow are taught to hate them during this period of time in which we gain these things. But at the end of it, we are taught how beautiful they are, right? And how much of a story they are. And we look at our grandmother's hands and our people's hands with such love and like, just the story, right? We hold them and we look at them and we're like, holy shit, right? Like this life that you lived. But when it's happening to us, we hate ourselves for it. We literally tear ourselves apart and hate ourselves for it. Every time a new one comes, every time a new thing happens, every time a change happens and a dimple happens and cellulite happens or wrinkles happen or new poundage happens or whatever, or our hair starts thinning or whatever, when we all know that like, it's what happens when you live life. It's what happens when you embrace what your life is. And that's not to say you can't take vitamins and whatever and make yourself do all these things if you don't want to. But if like your body's going to do what your body is supposed to do because it's naturally supposed to do that, and it's so shitty that society has made the process of becoming older and stepping into these, I don't want to say stepping, our bodies changing with us and growing with us throughout this process and gaining things through the years that we're gaining is somehow in some way disgusting and not right and not beautiful. And yeah. I'm sorry. If you guys want to say hi to me or put something in the comments after that long rant and talk, please do. So, yeah. Cool. So what this talk really is about, obviously, the shame that we all feel when we see these things and experience these things, whether it be cellulite or stretch marks or wrinkles or loose skin or whatever. It's the shame that we all seem to encompass with the idea of those things. And with, and what size we are and the fact that things are supposed to sag. Like, if you got 20-year-old looking boobs when you're 60 and 70, like, it's not really what you're supposed to look like. And it's like, if that makes you confident, fine, great, whatever. But like, naturally, our bodies are supposed to do these things. And there isn't a beauty in the story in which they're telling by doing those things. And hating your body because it naturally does something or it's changing is kind of one. It doesn't make any sense. Your body's going to change. It's going to. So you might as well just suck it the fuck up and deal with it, number one. And the first step of sucking it up and fucking dealing with it is knowing that it's natural. This is what bodies are supposed to do. Bodies are supposed to change. Bodies are supposed to age. Bodies are supposed to look different. If I looked the same way I did when I was 10, it would probably be fucking gross and weird, right? Right. But it would be okay if I looked the same as I did when I was 20. Make it make sense. Unless we are trying to just look good for the pleasure of disgusting men, then what is the point of hating ourselves into this existence, right? And into throughout all these years. And it's, let me go back. Let me run it back real quick. Do you know how often I will be doing something on Facebook, posting whatever, and somewhere on my feed, of course, it's the first thing because I don't actually scroll much, is someone posting a picture of them from high school or college and being like, do you know how much I told myself I was fat in these pictures? Now look at me, right? So one, they didn't learn anything. Like, what you're telling me by posting this is you didn't learn anything. You didn't learn to not hate your body because it's going to exist no matter what you do. You didn't learn to stop talking shit about your body and that your body's going to continue to change, and how you felt about it then should not be the way you feel about it now. But instead, now you're feeling the same way as you did back then, and just talking shit to your new body and telling your old body that it shouldn't have talked shit about it. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, because you're not helping you. You're just making yourself feel worse. and saying that, yeah, my body changed and my body looked good then and it had changed, and I called myself that, and I talked about my roles, and I did this and this and this. Can't believe I thought that back then. Now look at me. And I'm like, but now look at you. And like, look at you then. And in 20 years, you're probably going to say the same thing to a picture about you now if you don't reframe that mindset, right? Wow, when I was 40, I was beautiful. Or wow, when I was 15, you know, and it's crazy because when I see young pictures of myself, I say, wow, we look like babies. Look at all we've done since then, right? Like, especially with my husband and I, like, it's never like, oh, wow, look how little I was or smaller or whatever. It's always, wow, look at how much we've accomplished and done since that picture. How much we look so young. We look so naive. We were so naive. Like, you have to reframe that mindset about the way you talk about your body, because your body's going to continue to change. You can't do anything about it. Like, yeah. The thing is that you're only losing beauty if you only, let me make sure I say this right. You're only losing beauty if you only decide to see beauty in what society tells you. When you don't change your mindset on beauty to being more than just skinny, flawless, thin, no bumps, no, right? If you don't change that mindset, you're only going to think that's beautiful for the rest of your life. You're always going to put yourself down and think that you're not enough for not looking like something that's unrealistic. And once you start to see the beauty in everything, right, and you see it in someone else, right, you see it in your mother, in the fact that she's aged and now has gray hair, or she has wrinkles, and right, and you see yourself, oh, maybe I'll look like that when I'm older, maybe I won't, or whatever, right, and you talk, and you see this, and you see it in your grandparents, and whatever, and you see an older person on the streets, and you see the beauty in all of this. We see the beauty in babies, we see the beauty in toddlers, and kids, and teens, and whatever, and at what point do you say, they got too old to be beautiful? Their body changed too much. Those wrinkles just make her really ugly. I don't know. I haven't experienced that, because aging is part of life, and seeing older people having wrinkles is part of it. So how do you get yourself from the smooth 20-year-old to the wrinkled 70-year-old without the years and experience and adventures and all of it that happens in the years in between, if you're just going to hate yourself from point A to point B, and then finally get to point B and be like, I realized, hopefully, I'm hoping when you're at this point, right, that you have that dawn. But some people don't. They just hate themselves their whole lives for their bodies doing what they're supposed to. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about some tools to work on this for the two people that are here. And I just keep talking. If you want to say hi to me and put a comment, it'd make me feel really good. Thanks. Especially when I'm talking, and I cut my lip earlier, so love me, say that you love me, do. Are you ready? Okay, so, okay, sorry. We're gonna work on some tools to shift our thoughts, because I've already talked about how to do that, not the way to do that, well, kind of, whatever. I talked about a lot. So, first thing you have to do is catch that shame, just like I did. You have to, look, these are new. It's fine. It's just loose skin. It's just my body. It changes. Shit happens, right? So first thing you have to do is you have to catch those thoughts, right? You have to catch yourself saying, oh, look at those crow's feet. Whew. When did they happen? Oh, Joe, I'm going to have to start doing my cream. No. No. It's just not. Hi, Willow. It's not how this works, right? We have to stop it, and we have to say, okay, do I hate this because I hate it, or do I hate it because this is what society tells me to hate? Or do I hate it because it doesn't look like all the commercials I see or all the people I see in ads? And then I'm going to sit back and I want you to say, you know, is it truth or is it programming? Is it real? Is it real life? Is this how we're supposed to feel about our bodies and our wrinkles and stuff, these natural things happening? Or is it something that's programmed into our brains because of the way that society is, right? And then I want you to think about people that you know, everybody around you, older, younger, whatever. And I want you to think about whether you know whether they have wrinkles or not. Because I will tell you I'm 32 and I have other friends who are 35, 36, 28, and I can't really tell you if they have wrinkles or not. Like, I really can't. Like, I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, Ryan developed, sorry, that's one of my good friends. Ryan developed 2 new wrinkles since the last time I saw her. Or Jen's really been racking up those lines on her face lately. Like, I've been friends with Ryan for 7 years. I've been friends with Jen for 7 years. And I'm telling you, they've probably gotten wrinkles and their bodies have probably changed in this 7 years of knowing each other. But I haven't seen wrinkles appear. I haven't noticed them. I haven't paid attention to them. They're not going to pay attention to the wrinkles appearing on my face. And guess what? In 10 years, we're all going to be sitting around 40 years old and be like, wow. And you know what? We're probably not going to have noticed the wrinkles that have gained or the changes that in our body that have happened. We're still going to be there for each other. And then we might look back at pictures of us 30 and be like, wow, we've really changed. But there's the beauty in that, right? But it's also like nobody notices. Nobody's pointing it out. Nobody's seeing it. And nobody's shaming you but you, especially the people that matter. Like, they're not noticing. Yeah, so you can either change your mindset to go more positive, right? Or you can change your mindset to go more neutral. Or just have some compassion. It's okay to say, I don't love my wrinkles. I don't love my dark eyes. Like, I don't know. I don't love my dark eye circles. I don't love my wrinkles. I'm not really in love with my smile lines or the cellulite that's developed on the back of my legs, right? You can say that, but you can still say, but it's my body. It is. I don't love it, but it's part of me. It's here. I don't love it, but it's here and it's part of me. And you don't have to love something to be kind to it. There's lots of people that we don't love that we still have decent kindness to and decent approach. We can have that for our bodies. Like, it's okay to say, I don't love this part of me about me, but it's part of me and like it's gonna exist and I'm still gonna be kind to it. Like, it's still gonna exist for me and be part of me and my body's still gonna do the work and like hold me. So like, I'm still gonna be kind to it. Or just as simple as, this is my body, right? Neutrality is more of just acceptance, right? Like, this is my body. This is a natural aging process. This is a natural change. This is natural to go up and down in weight and move around a little bit and get more wrinkles and have some loose skin once in a while, right? Those are all natural changes, and this is my body. It's my knee sack. It's what's carrying me today. It's what it is. And that's just neutrality. Neutrality is just saying, this is what it is. It is. It just is. It's my body. Positivity is thanking your body. Like, yes, this is my body, and I'm thankful for these lines because of the experiences my body's allowed me to have that have developed these. And I will tell you that the biggest part of that and the biggest like positive impact for me has been my smile lines. Again, I told you I got my first smile lines in my 20s, and I'm going to probably be having 1 million by the time I'm a lot older, right? And for me, what this says is I don't really have forehead wrinkles, which would be fine if I did, but these are worry lines. These are like anger lines or like frown lines. I don't know. And then these are smile lines. And if I see that right now in my 30s that I have smile lines and that's what I have, like, that means I've spent most of my life smiling and like I've lived a happy life, right? And there's a beauty in that. So that's positivity, right, for your body. So those are some tools. But why this matters for me and for you, and why I even came live to talk about it, one is to show you guys that it happens to me, and I have the most, like, I don't know, of a huge array of psychology background and education on bodies and the view of it and whatever. And it still happens to me today, right? Where I have to check myself and be like, whoa, that's a big change for your body. Didn't realize that was happening, right? But the shame that hit, right? It's okay to experience that as long as you rephrase it and bring it back. And the reason this really matters is, I'm looking at my notes, so just, when we stay at war with our body and when we talk to our body like this and we don't accept these changes and don't, like, understand these changes, we just constantly are never going to be free, right? You're never going to live your life to the fullest. You're always going to be trapped by the idea of what you look like, who to impress, and why you have to look that way to feel good, right? Instead of just living to feel good and living in your life and living in your body as it is without giving, like, the care and the fucks to everybody else, right? I always ask my people, whose fucks are these, right? Like, whose fucks are these? Like, do you actually care? Or are they somebody else's fucks? Like, ask yourself. And the thing is, if you always are caring about everybody else's fucks, about the way that you look and the way society tells you to look, you're never going to actually be free, and you're never going to actually live in this body to do the things and have the experiences that you're meant to have. Or you're going to be thinking at your body instead of enjoying them. And especially when you have children or are around a lot of people, you put those negative thoughts onto other people. You are pushing your negative ideologies or the negativity about the wrinkles, right? Like, oh, I gotta do my anti-aging cream. I don't want wrinkles. Your daughter's now going to be like, oh my God, I have a wrinkle, Mom. We got to go do something about this. Why do I have this, right? Instead of being like, oh, look at that new part of my life, right? Or not even realizing because it hasn't been made to be a big fucking deal, because it isn't one. It isn't one, okay? As I said before, one of the biggest things I talk to my clients about is, like, you wouldn't rewind your life or take away the things that have happened in the past 5 years, 6 years, whatever, to be able to be back in the body without the wrinkles, without the cellulite, without the weight, whatever, right? You wouldn't take away your life, because you can't rewind, right? You can't rewind. Sorry. We want to rewind to a part of us that was never meant to last. Our bodies were never supposed to be completely flawless and shiny and this idea of thin and whatever. Like, they weren't supposed to be that. Our bodies weren't supposed to be that. That's not a part of it. So we're trying to rewind to these bodies that weren't ever supposed to be here, right? Like, this is today, and they existed 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 6 years ago. They were never supposed to exist now. They would, even if you hadn't done this one thing or hadn't had a kid or hadn't done this, like, your body still wouldn't be what it was that day, today. And you wouldn't give up everything that you have, like, got and received and changed and experiences you have had to be there. Even if you could. You wouldn't. Yeah. As I said, what the problem is when you speak to yourself like this, when you focus on things, when you make experiences and your life about being negative about this body and how it's changing. Sorry, hair is so much. When you have those experiences and those changes and whatever, and you talk about them, and you won't go to the pool because of the way your body looks like, or you won't take a picture of the family because of the way you look, or I don't want to take a picture because my makeup's done, I don't want to do this because of this, I look gross, I look this, right? What you're doing is passing that on to your friends. You're passing that on to your family. You're passing that on to your daughters, your sons, whatever. And especially with sons, like, you're teaching them how to view women. You're teaching them how women are supposed to be, right? And you're creating this negative mindset about them wanting their woman to look a certain way too. And it's not positive, right? You're teaching them that there's something wrong with you by having cellulite, by having wrinkles, by having things, and by changing, instead of focusing that this is what bodies do, and teaching them these lessons that, hey, This is what body's doing. It's so beautiful. I'm still beautiful with these wrinkles. I'm still whatever. I'm still your mom. You still love me just like this. Just like when your wife ages or your partner ages, you're still going to love them because they're not going to change. It's just their body changing, right? And just, yeah. You have to make room in your life for that peace. And it will be weird, right? Like when you start to work on your body and you go from hating it so much to like just being like, this is my body. It's going to be weird because you're not going to stand in the mirror for 20 minutes being like, oh, I can't wear this because my belly looks a little big, or I can't wear this because I can't wear this eyeshadow because you can see the wrinkles and it really calls out the lines in my face, right? Like once you give up on that, you just don't give a fuck. Like just stop. I know it's easy to say stop giving a fuck, but like the less fucks you give, the more fucks you have for yourself, for fun. I have 0 fucks to give, but I have a whole lot of fucks for myself. A whole lot of them, okay? So keep them for you. Keep the fucks for you and fuck everybody else, okay? Because if they really care what your body looks like and the things that are changing or whatever, they don't need to be in your life anyway. They got way too many fucks giving out. They're giving out way too many fucks to be thinking about the way that your body has changed and the things that are happening with it, okay? Okay. I feel like, yeah. Cool. So, yeah. If you want, and you love me enough, you can post a real photo of you guys in the comments. So we can just celebrate, number one, our natural, beautiful selves. And also compliment each other and do all of that fun stuff. And if you have comments, I'd love to hear them. If you have anything that you want to know or anything I haven't touched on, I'd love to hear it. And yeah. And I just want to let you know that I did save this photo and edit it, and I still love it. And I sent it to my friends because I still felt absolutely fucking great in it. So, yeah. And if you need to see the photo again, I can show you, but no need for that, I don't think. So put in the comments if you learned anything, what the biggest thing you learned was, what you loved hearing about, I guess. And anything along those lines, I'd love to. And I'd love to answer any questions or touch on anything because you had me here, and why not? That's what I'm here for. If you need help working through something or working on something or a way to combat a negative thought or a negative thought process or how they come up, that is why I'm here. So I am begging you to put your love in. Yeah, okay? So do that. Or else you're going to get more of me singing, and I don't think anybody wants that right now, so yeah. If you enjoyed this, you could at least be like, yeah, Brie, this talk was bomb as fuck, right? That would work as well. You guys are just not fucking saying shit. Or I'm not saying it. And it's going to be really awkward if I'm like, yo, why are you not talking to me? But it really looks like you're just not commenting, which is really bullshit. I'm not supposed to say that, I know. Lied. Anyway, this is it. If there is not any more comments or you don't want to say how much you loved this, that is fine. But we will hang up. I'm going to give it one more minute just for in case somebody does have a question and it's just not popping up yet, because that happens where it's like, let's be an asshole. And so I'm going to give it just another minute. So if you do have a question or a concern or something you want to touch on, I can answer it. Yeah. I thought I showered and got my mascara off earlier. I don't think it all came off, so that's fun. Yeah. Any questions, concerns, comments? That's what you're supposed to end with, right? Questions, concerns, comments. All right, guys. I gave it another minute. No comments, and that's fine. But if you do have any more questions and want to leave them in the comments, I will answer them later. And I will come back to them, because that's why I'm here. If you get here, and yeah. Oh, I love you too, Willow. Thank you. I'm glad. I felt like I really need to come live with it earlier when I saw this picture and was like, I need to tell everybody about this. Just so you know. You're right. No saying bullshit, but you can totally hear for the fuck. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. This has been great. I love you, and I hope you enjoyed.